good morning, and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys, good morning, good night. Thank you for choosing the Body Snatchers podcast. Tino here. Today, I'm back. I'm hanging out with John. I'm hanging out with Kellz. Today, we're going to be talking all about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. We're all really excited about it. We've waited a very long time for this to finally get released, so that's what's up. That's exciting. Also, if you guys are new, please head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com. We'd like to make sure you subscribe to our podcast any place you want to. We're all over the place, iTunes and Spotify, all that good stuff. Also, please take a look at the Patron account. We're going to be giving away prizes specifically for Patron members, dope stuff like video games, and eventually probably like gaming consoles and stuff too. So I would say stop in and check that out. All that stuff aside, I haven't talked to either one of these guys in quite some time. Kellz, how are you doing today?
Peachy.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
How are you, John?
I am doing great. I know it's been a while since I've been on the show, man. I was supposed to make it to, what was the last show I was supposed to be on? Just had some scheduling conflicts and I couldn't make it, but I'm definitely excited to be here for Sonic because I'm pretty sure most of us had really low expectations about this movie. But like once the kind of controversy started happening about the design of the character, I started paying attention a little bit more and actually kind of got excited to see it. But so here we are.
All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm. It's kind of wild because when I was hitting up Kellz and John today, John and Kellz both did me dirty and like played the cold shoulder. Like I'm like, hey guys, let's get ready to record this show. I'm really excited. Let's talk about it. And they both just, like I said, gave me the cold shoulder. And it's wild to me that they would do that during Black History Month of all months.
I mean, we just got to continue the tradition of pulling each other down.
See, I think I misread your text. I was like,
That's wild, guys. I expect Black people to be late, but this one hurt me.
I mean, it was only like 5 minutes.
Like, my chest.
Yeah. I definitely pulled a light skin move. I can't help it. I actually took selfies in the meantime to pass the time. And you know what's funny is I said that as it was supposed to be a joke, but that's actually what I did.
Yeah, I seen it on Twitter. I was like,
yeah, if you go to
take a selfie.
If you go to Twitter right now, my light skin ass is on there right now taking selfies with the
I seen it. I was like, retweet.
Right.
The right Kiara shading filters. I don't use the filters that are built into the apps. I'm too bougie for that.
Clearly.
He was squinting his eyes and everything. Team light skin, what they always do.
Whoa, I was only doing that because I'm incredibly tired from my day job. Yeah, you're right. I was like, there's huge bags under my eyes. It makes me look 50 and I'm really just tired. But all right. Anyways, that out of the way. Sonic. So as I was saying, before we had a little bit of a brief conversation before we got on air. I had incredibly low expectations for this movie just because I hadn't really seen anything outside of, Jim Carrey talking a little bit in the previews that looked somewhat appealing. And with all the controversy around, them making last minute changes because of the, just general feedback from the world when they released that first trailer. I was like, dude, it's probably going to be crap. I tried to be optimistic, but if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I really had low expectations. Like I wanted to go see it. I knew I was going to go see it, but I went in there expecting to be like super disappointed and just upset. And right. I wasn't, not at all. I mean, going into this, did you guys kind of feel the same way or were you more open than I was? I mean, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I was more open to it. I mean, Jim Carrey is not going to play in a shitty movie. And I figured that actually attracted me to the movie because I seen him. I'm like, what is this goofy ass? What is he going to do? He's going to make the movie. And it was pretty good. And just seeing that they listened to everyone who didn't like how Sonic looked, I'm like, I just have to see the movie because they actually listened.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jim Carrey definitely helped pull me in to wanting to see this movie for sure.
All right, guys, and not to interrupt things, we just wanted to take a quick commercial break to discuss our Patron Membership program. If you guys are listening, we would really appreciate it if you head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com and become a Patron member. Help us keep the lights on. We've got Tier 1 starts off at $1. We've got commercial-free episodes for all you guys. Tier 2 patrons start off at $5. That's quarterly stickers. Tier 3 patrons, $15 or more. That's going to be stickers, prints, all sorts of cool stuff. And all patrons are automatically entered into quarterly contests for all sorts of more expensive and elaborate prizes. We're talking video games, consoles, mechanical keyboards, you name it, webcams, all sorts of cool stuff that we're going to be doing. And all that we ask is, you guys give us a little bit of support and help out. So if you have some time, again, head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com and support. Thank you.
I was also really excited because it's not that often where the fans can have a really big outcry about how they feel the direction a movie is going, and for the studio to actually listen and take the time, dude, to make it right for the people who are gonna pay money to go see it. And I have to imagine they took some type of financial hit to go and redesign all of it, but the movie came out great, and I hope more people go see it, and hopefully there's a second movie in the pipeline.
Oh, they will be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and as I said before, I said this some time ago. Kellz is probably a little bit more familiar than John, but when it comes to restructuring CGI, at this point they had the whole movie shot out, and they really just needed to redesign the character and kind of I don't want to say copy and paste, but the majority of the work would be kind of like a copy and paste, and then they go back for the finer details. So, I mean, they probably had a small team at this point that they paid to kind of, restructure all that stuff as far as that was concerned. So I wasn't worried about them, screwing themselves, needing to push back the design. They just wanted to make sure that it was absolutely perfect. And I'm happy with that. I know a lot of people, when the internet, picked up their pitchforks and went crazy and they were so upset, were like, guys, some artists worked really hard on this design, and this is disrespectful to whoever that artist was, which off the top of my head I forget. I'm probably gonna look it up.
Yeah, he should be assassinated for that.
I mean, but while I hate to attack somebody's artistic vision, at the same time I think he was a little bit, him or her, they were a little bit out of pocket in changing something that's so iconic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They deserve to get folded for that. Had they not played any of the Sonic games, and they probably didn't. Never mind. I'm not surprised about that. But he's you really think that people are going to accept that? What is wrong? No, yeah, so stupid. I was mad.
I mean,
as soon as I seen it, I was like, what the?
I mean, for them, it's a good thing, though, because people it created so much controversy that maybe people who really didn't want to see it in the first place actually wanted to see it after, they redesigned it. And so it turned out to be a good thing. But yeah, that the original artist, whoever the artist and then whoever greenlit that to be the final design should both be fired.
I wonder, they asked him, have you played a Sonic game? And the person was just like, no, you're hired. What? What's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, in their defense, a video game quite like this, with the exception of Pokemon, but the only exception is really Detective Pikachu, which is very recent. This is kind of uncharted territory. You guys, we're so spoiled these days, but you got to remember, I mean, remember the Super Mario Bros?
Jesus, that was terrible.
That old ass movie, yeah.
Well, when you look at it now, it's terrible. But when we looked at it, and what did it come out, 1990 or 92, give or take?
Mad long ago.
It looks bad now. And if, the internet tried to do something like that, I mean, we'd riot. I mean, somebody at home, I could probably make a better video, ordering a cosplay and using a green screen, to be totally honest with you. But but that was all uncharted territory at the time, and it's just times are changing. The CGI is changing. And I wasn't irate with his design, but I definitely saw that first design and was like, ooh, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that like the internet went crazy and we were able to get something that was just more aesthetically pleasing. You know, like I seen it and was so shook by it. I almost didn't realize how appalling it was when looking to, you know, to see like how Sonic should come across on screen.
Bro, that was my game. Like that was my first ever game. And when I seen that, I wanted to punch my phone. Like, are you serious? Like, are you super serial right now?
Yeah, that would have been a tough pill to swallow, honestly. If
I wouldn't have seen it
if they released it. Yeah, I don't think I would have went either. I probably would have waited for DVD or something, to be honest.
Jeez. Well, I mean, again, you know, whatever the reason that, you know, things happen the way that they happen, I'm happy they turned out the way they did. I'm super excited. I mean, I know once we all saw the redesign, it re-inspired hope in all of us. And going back to something I mentioned briefly, let's compare this movie without getting into detail initially with Detective Pikachu. John can't play in this game because John sucks. And never saw that movie, but Kellz did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was in the plans.
Yeah, there's no excuse. It came out in, what was that, May with Ryan Reynolds?
No Johns.
John was like, I could go see Pokemon, or better idea, I could stick my finger up my ass for 8 months. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Someone has to not do anything here.
Terrible human being. Well, Kellz, how do you think that these two compared? Again, not going into excruciating detail, at least as of yet, maybe towards the end of the podcast.
I would say I think Detective Pikachu definitely had a better story, especially towards the end. Sonic was like, okay. They nailed his personality because he's just like that. Sonic. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious, but the story wasn't that great. But there were moments that were good. But I like Detective Pikachu's story better, and it was more captivating. And if they would have messed up Pikachu, like how they did with Sonic when it first came out, it would have been the same exact thing. Agreed.
Probably would have went worse.
I agree with the last statement Kellz said. I've been rolling it around in my head for the last day or two, and I think, and granted, both of these movies are strongly geared towards children with a light touch and nod for, you know, that nostalgic audience. But I think I liked Sonic better. I think that, yeah, I do. I think that Detective Pikachu did have a more elaborate story, but I just wasn't into it. You know, it just wasn't that great to me. And I'm not saying it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, you know, in comparing the two, I got to pick a favorite. And in this case, I think that I was more drawn towards Sonic. The information that was in there, and heads up, guys, we're getting into spoilers now. The information that they kind of gave us, that they created to build a light story around this, really interested me. And now I find myself to be incredibly interested in what's going to be coming out in the sequel. So, like in the very beginning, when Sonic has that Guardian,
yeah,
when they were over in like the Zone 1 area, which by the way, I love that they had like actual Sonic levels in there, which was
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed.
I got flashbacks.
Long Claw was the owl, and it's been some years since I've read like a Sonic comic. I've seen pretty much all the animated variations, and I've played, you know, the majority of the video games up to a certain point. So I don't really remember Long Claw offhand. So is that something they just made up for the movie, I'm thinking?
It seems like it, because I don't ever remember there being a hawk taking care of him when he was younger. I don't remember it going that far back in the story of how he was born, and I think they made that up. I could be wrong though, because I don't ever remember a childhood of Sonic.
And as I'm looking at it, I'm looking it up now. I mean, they're basically just saying that Long Claw was created for this movie, but I think that was really fun that they did that, because it's going to be a totally brand new story for everybody who is interested in this, who sees the movie. And again, I'm just really excited because it was just like a really light touch. So it wasn't an elaborate story, but come on, man, you can't tell me you're dying to hear like their, you know, where they come from, where his powers come from, what's the purpose of the character we get that, you know, pops in at the end of the movie, and you know, more about the rings, and, you know, is there a possibility that we might have other characters from Sonic's universe?
Yeah, I agree with that. They definitely left the door wide open to expand more on everything. So seeing more characters and just kind of a little bit more clarification on what Sonic is, and like you said, other characters and what their powers are. So
Yeah, the Knuckles race clan. Like, what the? I was not expecting that. I was like, oh my god, it's Knuckles. Wait, no, it's not. There's more.
Yeah, I was wondering about that as well.
No, I can't wait to see it. And but in comparing those two things, that was just something I wasn't super excited about with Pokemon. I think it was a great movie. I think it was a great kids film. It looked great. It was aesthetically pleasing. Like when they're running around towards the end of that film, and the Pokemon are all over the place, and you can see like the proportions. Like how big these Pokemon can actually be. It was great. So I'm not knocking any of that, but the story just was a little bit dry. I found myself not really wanting another one afterwards, and I think that matters, in a movie. So that's kind of like my biggest thing. Again, it's just for conversation's sake. I'm not taking a shot at either movie. I enjoyed them both.
No, I totally get it, and I think the biggest point, like you said, is does the movie make you want to see more? And if it doesn't, then I don't think it really did its job. So this movie, for sure, Sonic, I definitely want to see more of it.
Well, and you know what else I really liked about it was all the fine details for creating and building up Sonic's personality.
Yes, they nailed it.
Oh, it was great. So Sonic was voiced by Ben Schwartz, who the only thing voice actor wise I recall Ben doing was Dewey Duck from DuckTales, the more recent DuckTales from like, was that 2017, 2019 or something like that. But anyways, so Ben Schwartz did him. And obviously, low key, I think we all wish it would have been Jaleel White.
I mean, that is.
That's Steve Urkel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Jaleel White did the original Sonic voice in the cartoons.
Did not know that.
Wow.
That would have been dope.
Another shot in Black History Month? That's 2, Kellz. One more, and you're giving me back your card for the rest of the month.
I mean, is there any reason why he didn't? Or, like, was he even talked to about doing this role? Or was it...
I think they just were going in another direction. I mean, I remember seeing some things, like, on the internet with it floating around. I don't think he was necessarily interested. He was a kid. He was at his, like, peak popularity with Steve Urkel when Sonic came out, and it just, like, made sense to do it.
Right.
But I wasn't upset by the choice at all. So, hey, I guess you guys learned something. I know Kellz did today.
The more you know.
Right? Hit you with that Reading Rainbow?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give him like a Stan Lee cameo in the next film, just because.
To paint a picture for people who haven't seen it yet that don't mind the spoilers. So Sonic, comes to Earth, and he's living in this little cave, kind of doing his own thing. He's very alone, which is sad, but he's alone, and they're just kind of showing how he lives his life. And a couple of things that I really liked that they took the time to do was he had a huge stack of Flash comics. The Flash from DC was his favorite superhero, and he was just like powering through them. Second thing I liked, he was a fan of Keanu Reeves, and specifically the movie that they showed was Speed. Which just made me laugh hysterically. I mean, were there any like things in the beginning you guys can think of that you just loved? Because I could talk about this all day.
No.
I mean, I can't really think of anything else other than what you've already said, because it was just kind of funny seeing his personality and some of the on the nose puns that they made about Sonic and him being fast. So
him playing Pong and stuff with himself, and then doing all the stuff like going super fast and doing it. It's like, what the? It was pretty awesome to see that, and the comics and everything. Like, damn, you can read that fast? Jeez.
Right? Or even the way he was screwing with Donut Lord, as he called him, with the speed gun.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny too.
Yeah, so like to piggyback on what both of you guys said, as far as what Kellz was talking about, when I first saw the scene where Sonic's moving like super fast, and he's specifically the scene where he's playing baseball with himself, I thought it was going to be kind of lame. I thought they were going to do the same thing they did with like Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, X-Men and the Avengers, where like they kind of like slow down time and he's moving real quick, and things are floating in the air, and they did do that. But then they took it a step further, because Sonic is like not that boring. You gotta have fun with Sonic. So they showed him, moving so fast that he's playing an entire baseball game with himself. So like they're showing shots of him being the catcher, shots of him being the pitcher, shots of him being the batter. And what makes it better is he's bantering with himself as if he's talking to other players. He's moving that fast. It's almost like Spider-Man with like quick, hilarious jabs. And it was just perfect. They nailed it.
Yeah, it was that whole scene was incredibly fluid. Like I don't think they missed a beat on it at all.
Totally agree. And going back to what John was talking about with Tom, the Donut Lord, played by James Marsden, who, by the way, played Cyclops in X-Men in 2000. If you guys were thinking he looked familiar, that's where he's from.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Scott Summers, it's me, your boy. I guess we don't recognize him when Hugh Jackman's not making him look like
Yeah, right.
a scrub.
Who is this dude?
Right?
Who sent you?
Tight ass leather shorts.
Bro, chill out, man.
Chill. But there's a scene where there's like a turtle crossing the street out in like a deserty type area.
Oh, that was hilarious.
And I love turtles. Like I own 2 turtles. I'm a huge turtle guy. I love Squirtle, my favorite Pokemon. That whole little family, Blastoise, Wartortle, the rest. Like I'm just turtles all day long. So when I seen him pick up the turtle that was about to get hit by the car, and then he was like, "Man, it's a shame you're so slow." He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna make your day." And then he goes like lightning fast, like holding the turtle in front of him, and the turtle, like they CGI'd like little facial expressions as if he's going like, "Whoa!" I was in tears. It was so just smile, man, smile factory. That's what this movie was about.
Yeah, that thing was hilarious. And then he put the turtle down. The turtle was like shaking.
Yeah, because he almost lost him.
What was that? Oh, that was funny.
It was great, and they took the time to make sure that they didn't miss other things. Like for instance, there's like a bar scene fight, I guess you would call that, and in the midst of that, Sonic destroys a bunch of chili dogs. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Like sometime between then and the convenience store, like I was thinking too. I was like, no chili dog references at all. I was like, that's all the old cartoons were about. Like he was just like, give me them chili dogs.
Let me get that.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm waiting. Oh god.
Yeah, the bar scene fight was really cool. It was well done. I just didn't expect to have so much fun watching this movie. And I mean, once I got past the point of that, this movie is definitely geared towards children. You know, after seeing so many other movies where, especially like since we just saw Harley Quinn movie, where that's rated R, and then a few of the other movies that we've seen, which is like they're way more adult like oriented. Sitting down and watching a movie like this, where it was just feel goods all around. And just the playful banter back and forth between characters. I think it was a really well done movie. And then Jim Carrey's character, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about that.
And that's what I was going to say. We're spending so much time talking about Sonic, but I would be lying to you if I said the IT tech nerd in me wasn't having so much fun watching Jim Carrey arrive on the scene as Dr. Robotnik and have like all these just cool, intricate gadgets. Like at no point did his robots or technology seem cheesy. And that was such a cool direction because like in the cartoons and the comics, like they were more like silly, almost like a variation of something you'd see from the Jetsons, you know, I guess would be kind of, bubbly robots and stuff. And they kind of were, but like everything was like really slick and smooth and sexy. And it felt more like he had dissected a couple Transformers and adopted their technology. Like they really spent like some money on that. You could tell.
I digged his gloves. I was like, yo, they got gloves like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the direction that they took on Dr. Robotnik, and obviously we'll probably get towards the end of the movie later in the show, but we're
at later.
Well,
it's 23 minutes in.
Man, I didn't even realize it. But this is like right before he kind of loses his mind, because I guess up to this point, like he's always been eccentric, but he gets stuff done, and that was coming based off of the conversations that were had when the military or the government was meeting up trying to figure out what that electrical explosion was that obviously came from Sonic, and right before they called Robotnik in.
Can we talk about that too? How did you guys feel emotionally when his little baseball game, as cool as that scene was with himself, but when the scene slows down, when Sonic slows down, and he stops, playing every individual baseball player, and it's just him standing out in the field in the dim lights in the middle of the night, and he's like, I really am alone.
Right. He was reaching for that high five and no one was there.
How did that make you guys feel? Because I know it was designed to hurt kids, and I got hurt.
I have no feelings anymore, so I was like, that's what you get, Sonic. No, I wasn't like that, but
I was like,
damn,
lie to me again.
High five. You went for a high five, and nothing was there. It's like,
all right, guys, and not to interrupt things, we just wanted to take a quick commercial break to discuss our Patron Membership program. If you guys are listening, we would really appreciate it if you head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com and become a Patron member. Help us keep the lights on. We've got Tier 1 starts off at $1. We've got commercial-free episodes for all you guys. Tier 2 patrons start off at $5. That's quarterly stickers. Tier 3 patrons, $15 or more. That's going to be stickers, prints, all sorts of cool stuff. And all patrons are automatically entered into quarterly contests for all sorts of more expensive and elaborate prizes. We're talking video games, consoles, mechanical keyboards, you name it, webcams, all sorts of cool stuff that we're going to be doing. And all that we ask is, you guys give us a little bit of support and help out. So if you have some time, again, head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com and support. Thank you.
Oh, you shouldn't be an alien then. I'm joking. But
jeez.
I felt bad. I was like, well, you gotta do something, right?
You changed. You're not the same. You're not the same Kellz I remember. He used to be this happy guy with Pokemon hats, and now he's just an ass.
But
I'm unsubscribing from the Kellz show.
Oh no.
It's the only kryptonite. Wait, come back.
Right.
Baby, come back. I mean, no, whoa. Time out.
And speaking of heartwarming scenes, the other scene that I like, it's like one of those movies where like you kind of see stuff coming, but then when it happens, you're like you can call it as it's happening, but it's almost too late. Like the scene where we knew that he's supposed to have his iconic red shoes with the white stripes on them. We knew that, and he didn't, and we kind of forgot about it because all the other stuff was happening. And then when they carry his limp body into that room and they're trying to resuscitate Sonic, and they look at his shoes that are worn to hell, and his socks are gone and his feet are bare, and they're just like, oh my God. And I knew right away, oh, why are shoes like that? Those aren't the iconic shoes. I remembered, and then you see the little girl come out of nowhere. And she's just like, you can have ye, Sonic.
Yeah, that was a dope scene.
That was pretty cool. It's like, you see, kids are completely open to whoever they are. They're cool and not racist. So she was being kind. And I was like, I can see that in so many ways. That was a pretty cool scene.
She just accepted the fact that there's this blue alien in her kitchen and was like, I'm gonna give him some shoes because that's the kind of person I am.
Boy, with your busted shoes, that's what she was basically saying. Whew, Jesus.
You're not about to leave my house.
Yeah, if this movie would have came out in 2015, guarantee you they would have hit him with the "what are those?" That guarantee you.
Oh God.
Can you imagine that? Because they tried to get away with it in Black Panther, and it was a little too late.
True,
but
true.
This, we saw it and we were like, okay, you get a pass. We'll give you a pass because this movie's so dope. But if 2015, you definitely would have heard that for sure.
100%.
It's playing in my head right now.
Right? How dare you heat my man Sonic over here? Don't do that. He did the best he could. Longclaw was an owl, for Christ's sake. She didn't know how to make shoes. She didn't even have hands to make shoes. Those shoes were made with the wings of a dead owl.
A dead Knuckles Clan member thing. Whatever.
Those guys were dicks. I don't know.
Yeah, no reason. No facial expression. Just, we're going to kill us a Sonic.
They looked more like the Honeycomb character to me versus Knuckles Clan. Maybe it wasn't our Knuckles. Maybe it was Ugandan Knuckles.
We found the way.
Oh.
That's another thing. If this would have came out in 2016, 2017, I guarantee you they would have had some sort of a Knuckles parody for Do You Know the Way? It would have been in there.
Yeah, definitely.
I hate the internet.
Now I'm just wondering how much funnier this movie would have been. It may have annoyed me just because of some of the pop culture references, but it could have been a little bit more fun.
You know what? We should take clips of this movie and put the voiceover for Do You Know the Way, where they're all saying it, when they kill Longclaw and they're chasing Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
We should voice that over and put that in there. Right? Somebody just heard that. Somebody was like, I didn't think you were going to go that far with spoilers. It happens in the first 3 minutes. Shut up. It'd be like that. So before we get to other things, kind of not necessarily talking about the movie itself, that ending, though, like two things. One, I knew that when Dr. Robotnik went to the mushroom zone, that he was definitely going to, he's going to come back. It's Dr. Robotnik. And if anything, Sonic putting him through there was a bad choice, just because now his, ridiculously smart ass is going to figure out, like, the functionality of the rings at some point. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to figure it out. He's going to get it. And I like that he lost his mind completely to where his mustache became more iconic. He shaved his head. He was owning the nickname that Sonic gave him for Dr. Eggman, which made a lot of sense. I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, how could they tie that in there? And he nicknamed his drones, like, get out of here with your eggy drones. I was like, oh, I see what he's doing. So they built that up. But before we get into our special guest character at the end, do you think, and I brought this up to John when we were driving home, I want to ask your opinion, Kellz. Dr. Robotnik makes a statement when he's in there, and he's like, if there would have been a lesser man out here, trapped in the mushroom planet, he was like, he'd probably die. There's no food. There's nothing out here. He doesn't know the land. He's like, but me, Dr. Robotnik, I'll be home by Christmas. Do you think that they worded that specifically so that when the sequel comes out, it's going to be around Christmas time? And that was just a playful way to guarantee they had their time locked in?
It's like the X-Files intro playing in my head right now.
Oh, you didn't catch it?
No, I did catch it, but I didn't think about it that way. I think that could be a good way of guaranteeing it's coming out.
I don't see why it wouldn't. It would be cool though as well, and they'll probably even have it themed or whatever. The weather at the time is going to be Christmassy because they're in. No, they went back to Oklahoma. They're not in they weren't going to stay in San Francisco, so. Or no, it's Montana, not Oklahoma. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Montana. I think they still get snow over there, maybe.
Probably.
Before we get out of here, there's only two things I want to really touch base on. First, to talk about the actual movie itself, Tails.
Fucking Tails. Bro, I was so fucking hyped up. Someone told me just to stay there in the movie. I was so hyped up. I was like, let me see what's going to happen. And then when the ring came up, at first I was like, Knuckles?
Right,
and then when Tails came out, I was like, "It's Tails!" I just started like a little kid.
And I looked at Tails real close. I was like, "They better not fuck up Tails." I was like, "Okay, they learned their lesson because they got it."
They did not. I was like, "Yo, it actually looks like Tails."
Yeah,
I was so
that was
my heart when he started spinning them tails and flying through. They showed him going through the trees, and I'm like, "Okay, so Tails knows about Sonic, but does Sonic know about Tails?" I got so many questions. This is what I'm talking about for the sequel.
Yeah,
I gotta know.
I'm wondering though, because on your point, Tino, whether Sonic knows about Tails or not, I'm like, well, what happened in his homeworld? Is Sonic some urban legend now or something, or do people know about him? Because he just made it seem like he never really knew anyone outside of Longclaw. But when Longclaw was like, well, someone could have seen you. Obviously, there's other people in that world, so that kind of confused me a little bit. Does he not have friends back home? What was that about?
Well, that's why it's so interesting because we don't know. Did Sonic have a memory that was lost? They could do so many things with this. And honestly, they could do the second movie and then introduce Knuckles halfway or at the end of the movie. They could do it again, and we would be like, "Oh my god," and we're gonna fall for it. We're gonna do it.
Yep.
We're going to.
Since they listen to everyone, it's I respect them now, and if they come out with another one, I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
I was almost in tears when they gave Sonic a home. I knew they were going to do it, but his character was so convincing on screen, how authentically happy he was to see that his cave had been migrated to the attic.
Yeah, that kind of got me slightly.
All right. I was like, oh, big. John was just looking at me. Shut up, be a man. I was like, I don't want to be a man right now. I want to be 6-year-old Tino who was playing Sonic for the first time on Sega Genesis at Circuit City, in 90 something.
I was playing Sonic when I was at 2 years old.
Okay, all right. Old ass.
Basically.
You're like, but you just said but I'm petty. So let's talk box office numbers for a second here before we get off the air, because we recently talked about Birds of Prey, And, yeah, we got an invitation from Warner Brothers and all that kind of stuff, and which was awesome. And it wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't a great movie either, though. I mean, if we're all being honest here. But Birds of Prey has, in its opening weekend only did a little bit over 17 million.
Oh.
Bad Boys for Life, their opening weekend did 11 million. And this is just to kind of paint. It's to paint a perspective for recent movies. And you've got Jumanji. Jumanji did 5.7 million. Parasite, which just got all those freaking awards, did 5.5 million.
Never seen it.
Well, I didn't ask you. I'm just letting you know because I'm sure you've heard about it. No.
Get folded.
Okay, so I guess uncultured swine. It was a foreign film, you jackass. It got a lot of awards, Kellz. It's really important. Is anybody listening to me? But Sonic the Hedgehog brought home a whopping 57 million in its first 2 days opening.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah, does it really surprise you though? Like,
no, actually, come to think about it, I'm not that surprised because they listened to the people.
Yeah.
And once it got fixed, it was like, we'll go see that now.
Well, think about all the old Sonic fans. Well, not old, but like all the Sonic fans who grew up with it, and now they have kids. So, they want to go see it, but then they got to take their kids to go see it. And yeah, so it makes sense.
Well, you know what? I don't think that necessarily matters too much because I've seen plenty of movies that like have the ability to capitalize on nostalgia. Like, for instance, Birds of Prey. Like, granted, it wasn't geared towards children, but there still were a lot of children at that show and a lot of people who were going to be, cosplaying as Harley Quinn and all that other stuff. And, forget the children, child base for a minute. Women, like that was their opportunity to bring women into the limelight in an all girls cast, basically, where you get to, just make women, whether they be evil or a superhero or whatever, look really strong and, sexy, old, young. We discussed this a little bit on that podcast. And I think that there was a lot of missed opportunity. I just don't think that they did it as good as they could have because they shoved Harley Quinn into it and made it all about her when it was supposed to be about like the team, and you had all these different demographics, but you just get Harley Quinn's goofy ass. And I think that's part of the reason why it didn't do as good as it could have. But Sonic, to Kell's point, for their audience, they pushed back the whole goddamn movie several months and made every change they possibly could to please the audience and struck gold. And I think that, and hope that I should say rather, that a lot of companies and studios moving forward, pay attention. Don't just throw a film together to make it. Like, do this to the best of your capability every single time. So for instance, like the Death Note adaptation on Netflix, where they had names like William Dafoe in there, and they totally butchered it because they ran with the direction of like, the director versus like what the people wanted. So you had something that just bombed.
Yeah, that.
Glad I didn't see that one.
Terrible.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. And I think for the most part, you guys kind of agree with it. But at the end of the day, it's whatever. I'm excited. It was a win for me. This is something I would definitely purchase. I would definitely see it again. I probably will see it again. I would love to take like my nephews, whatever, like, cause it's just, a good film is something that everybody can go see. It felt like a good family movie. Like everybody goes, everybody has a good time. And that's what a solid movie should do.
Yeah. My wife fell asleep on it.
I think that you should hit it with the DIVORCE. You thought I was going to say D, but there were more letters.
Oh, man. Oh, that was perfect.
I caught her as many times. Like, you were sleeping, huh? And she was like, yeah.
She said, nah, baby, this happiness and nostalgia is just wearing me dry.
Because we had the reclining chairs. Like, those things were comfortable. They can deliver popcorn to you. What?
You should have hit it with that Ike Turner.
Yeah, it was nice and fancy. And I didn't fall asleep. I was up the whole time though. But man, I was sinking into it like, yo.
Shit, I went without mine just because I didn't want to be upset because I knew if I liked it and I looked over and I wasn't getting the same energy that somebody was going to get folded.
I just looked at her and just kept on messing with her like, nope.
Right? I came back home and she was like, is your little movie over? Bitch, how dare you? It was fantastic. This is why I don't take you to go do nice things, because you don't know how to act. Whatever.
Tripping. But
How
I'll be
dare you?
Twilight or something though.
Don't do that. Don't bring me back to my high school days getting dragged from my significant other to that crap. Vampires sparkle. All right, you know what? On that note, we're just rambling, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here.
It was a good movie. The only one I seen. That one was actually good.
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Oh my god, he's so shiny. Can I get some body wash like that?
Kellz is fired. we don't condone that kind of behavior on this network.
Man, I thought I was gonna get fired first. You just dug your own grave.
That makes two of us. It was a surprise. Thanks.
Don't you just want to be gleaming out there?
Nah.
Let me stop.
I swear to God, if my Batman is gleaming, I'm gonna riot. But all right, guys, thank you for hanging out. Again, if you're new, head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com. Check out our Patron membership. I cannot express that enough. We're only asking for about $1 a month to help keep the lights on, but in return, you guys will be allowed to enter really awesome contests that we'll be doing quarterly throughout the year for, again, video games and all sorts of accessories, and who knows, maybe keyboards and stuff. You tell us what you want, we'll put it on there.
Just name my kid Gotham, so Gotham
Jesus
needs you.
Christ.
I wake up like automatically like, I got this.
And then you just walk into the bedroom and take 2 fists of justice to Gotham. Yeah.
I would probably wake up automatically like, oh my god.
What you need is some milk and justice. Fucking monster. All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Or good morning.